Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to learn about one more data structure which is called as sets. Now you might be familiar with the word sets. So sets are nothing but they are actually some kind of collections. So essentially sets are similar to lists, which we have learned in Python, which we have learned in this course. And the major difference between a list and sets is the way they are declared, and one more important difference between both of them is that you could have only unique elements in a particular set. So in a list you could have duplicate elements. So in a set you only need to have non-duplicate elements, and it does not allow duplicate elements into a particular set. So now let's go ahead and learn how to actually use and create sets in Python. So let's create a new set and let's call it as numbers. So let's type in numbers equals, and in case of lists we used to use the square brackets in order to define the list elements, but in case of Python you could define the list elements in curly braces right here. So if you have two curly braces, one opening and one closing, you could go ahead and define your elements right over here. So once you have defined these set elements, your set is ready and you are good to go. Now in order to print out the set elements, you could simply go ahead and type in print, and you could type in the set to the print statement. So if you pass in this set to the print statement and run the code, as you could see, your set will be displayed. Now there are some special functions associated with sets which you could perform. So for example, let's say you want to check if a particular element is present in a particular set. So in that case, what you need to do is that you need to print out by using the print statement, and let's say you want to check if the element 5 is present in your set. So you simply need to type in 5 in numbers, and what this will do is that it will return the result as true if 5 is actually present in numbers. So if you run this code, as you could see, as 5 is present over here, we get the result as true. Now there are also a few things which you could do with set, that is you could go ahead and add an element into the set, and you could also go ahead and remove an element from the set. So let's say you want to add in a new element to this number set right here. So you simply need to type in numbers, give a dot operator, and type in add, and to this add you could pass in any element. So let's say we want to pass in 9. So if you again go back and print out numbers to verify if 9 is added to the set, you simply print out numbers, and if you save the code and run it, as you could see, 9 is actually added to this set right here. Now similar to adding, you could also go ahead and remove an element from the list. So if you want to remove any element, you simply type in the set's name, give a dot operator, and use a function which is called as remove. So this will essentially remove any element which you specify from this set right here. So let's say you want to remove 4 from here, so you simply pass in 4, and if you save the code and if you run it, as you could see, now we no longer have 4 in our set right here. So these were two basic functions which were related to set. Now also we could perform some algebraic operations like finding out the union of the set, intersection of the set, and the difference of the set. So let's go ahead and learn that. So let's delete this and let's create two sets. So let's say we call these sets as set A. So the first set is going to be set A, and let's define a few things like 1 2 3 4 5 in set A, and let's say in set B we define elements as, let's say, 4 5 6 7 and 8, and also make sure that you have spaces over here or else you are going to have a warning. So once you have these two sets, to basically perform these set operations, what you need to do is that you first need to actually print out the result to check the result of the set operations. Now the first operation which we are going to learn is going to be the union operation, and what union operation means is that when you actually perform union of two sets, you will have all the elements which are present in set A and all the elements which are present in set B. So in order to perform union of two sets, you simply type in the set name first. So the first set is set A, Then to perform a union operation, you actually need to type in a perpendicular line which is actually present right above your enter key. So you need to hold on shift and use that perpendicular line. Then you need to type in the name of your second set, which is set B. So what this is going to do is that it is going to perform the union of these two things or these two sets, and it is going to print out the result. So if you save the code and if you run it, as you could see, you have the result as the union. So basically in union operation, you will contain all the elements of set A and all the elements of set B with no duplicate entries. So even if we have 4 and 5 in set A and 4 and 5 in set B, we won't be having them as duplicate values in the union of these two sets. Now the other operation which we are going to learn in this case is going to be intersection operation. So intersection of two sets basically includes only those values which are present in set A as well as present in the set B. So to check for those values, you need to use the ampersand sign or the and sign. So if you specify this sign, save the code and run it, as you could see, now we get the value or we get the result as 4, 5 because only those two elements from set A and set B are common, and intersection is nothing but it is actually the elements which are common between both the sets, and so we got the values as 4 and 5 as those values are common between the two sets. So after this operation, let's learn about the difference operation. So what difference operation does is that it takes the element of set A and it removes all the elements of set A which are present in set B. So if you talk about set A, this thing right here is our set A. And if you talk about set B, this is set B right here. Now what subtracting set B from set A will means is that it will remove the values which are common to both of these. So essentially when you subtract set B from set A, you will have only three values which are 1, 2 and 3. So to perform the difference operation, you simply need to give in a minus sign right here. And if you save the code and if you run it, as you could see in the result, you have values like 1, 2 and 3 which are actually present only in set A and they are not present in set B right here. So that was all about sets, and you could actually go ahead and store any kind of values in set as you were able to store in list, but the only thing is that you cannot have duplicate values in a particular set. That means each and every value which you have in a set must be unique. So thank you very much for watching this lecture, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you.